Hey guys, welcome. Well, it's time to start working on the last part of the RideTech StreetGRIP for the 55 Chevy, and that is putting the shock mounts in the trunk. So let me go through and I'll show you guys what I'm doing and how we're going to get it done. Okay, so here are the RideTech instructions. The way that the plates fit in here is the driver's side, it's going to go underneath, and I'll show you guys how that works, and then the passenger side. These are the bolts that come along with the kit. These are the 2 bolts that go on the top of the shock as the shock mount. So these will go into this part right here. And then these 2 are your locators. They'll go through, and I'll show you guys through the top right here, and they actually go into the existing shock holes. And then there are these 4 right here, 2 for each one. That go into existing holes that you will have to drill that are here in the plate. So, and Smokey is pretty dirty underneath, so normally I would take a scraper and I would scrape them off underneath, but today I have work to do. This afternoon I have to head into school to do some prepping for one of my classes, so we are going to go through and go to town with the stripping disc. So here we go. Give me just a sec. I'm going to jump underneath and show you guys getting this ready. Okay, guys, here we go. I've got my safety mask on. I've got my breather. I need to get one of those masks like Montana Garage has. It goes down and covers your whole face, so you can use your breather with it, but I haven't done it yet. So here we go. I'm going to show you guys just cleaning this up. This is the bottom of the trunk where the shock mounts. Here we go. Alright, so that is the driver's side. Looks like a little bit still there. I'll get that off real quick. And then I'm going to switch over to the passenger side once I get this all cleaned off. One last piece. Okay, this side, the passenger side, has a lot more tar, you can see here on it. So I'm going to scrape a lot of it off. Then I'll hit it with the, if you guys can hear me, I've got my breather on here. So I'm going to hit it with a scraper here. Try to get the tar off, and then once I get, oh, good stuff. That's definitely preserving the trunk, that's for sure. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so the plan is that when all's said and done, I'll be spraying the bottom with lizard skin. So I'll use the lizard skin sound deadener on the bottom here, and the also the thermal on the thermal, especially right around the firewall and with the transmission tunnel, and then the roof of the inside roof of the car. But that's pretty cool. Check this out. Got a little stamp marking. It's H41. That's kind of cool. Yep, everything stayed there. So this little piece of metal right here that they put in, you guys can see that. H41. Okay, I'll turn the camera around. Okay, here we go. Here we go, H41. Oop, there we go, H41. Oh yeah, so the bottom is relatively rust-free. I mean, there really isn't any rust other than the floorboard, the front driver and passenger side kick panels. But I replaced the floor pans, but I didn't do the job that I wanted to, so I'm going to redo them. So still got a bunch of stuff here. I'll have to, one of these days, I'll spend like a full Saturday out here, or a couple Saturdays, and just remove everything on the bottom, and then we'll go from there when I can get it up. So let's go ahead and continue on with this RideTech installation. Okay, so I tried to use the mount here and put the bolt through and use it as my locator, you know, bolt it up real tight, but since they are nylocks, at least the nuts are, it's pretty difficult to to tighten it down, especially if it's one person or by yourself or someone else that, you know, on the top that, you know, is having a tough time holding it. So what I would highly recommend you doing is going down and getting some regular nuts for these. And these are 3/8 right here, but in the instructions, the RideTech instructions, they actually have, I'm sorry, bolts, not nuts. But I'd go down and get some nuts that are just the regular nuts, not the nylocks. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill the 2 3/8 hole here. I am on the driver's side. And we will see if we can get this set up. Here we go. Let's see here, let me find my, I don't know what, oh, there it is right there. Get my drill going here. I might have to put in a little pilot hole. We'll have to see about that, but for right now we'll just give it a shot and see if I can get it there. Well, let me just put in a little pilot since I've got my, at least I had it here a second ago, my little punch. There we go. I've got this little punch, might as well use it here, right? Okay, put my mask back on. Oh man, covered my whole face. That was intelligent. Note to self, keep mask on. There we go, much better. And let's do this guy here. All right. Let's see, and I might have to widen these holes up just because I think they're where they need to be, but, you know, I was holding it the way I was holding it, I wasn't quite sure. Well, there we go, I'm through. But it looks like I'm off a little bit, so I'm probably going to have to widen that hole a little bit. I need to come in and re-drill that. Wow. Okay, so there's 2 plates of metal there. I'm gonna have to go through the second plate as well. There we go. I'm through. All right, number 2 here. This guy looks like it's right there. And there's a bracket that I'm going to have to cut off on the top side, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. But let's see here, let's hold this up and see how close I was. That looks like they're pretty darn close. There we go. And I'll probably, once I get this on and everything down tight, I might even run a little bead weld on the sides of each one of these to make sure that it's solid. But for right now, there we go. That's that side, and we'll go around to the passenger side. Okay, here we go on the passenger side. Let's give it a couple drills here and see what we can do here. Oh, let's try to set it up first. And this guy right here. Okay, here we go. Line this up. Ooh, that's still hot. Still hot. All right, we're making holes. Here we go. Oh, my battery is getting down to the end. I'm going to switch this out for another one. I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we're back with the new battery. Let's see how this does. There we go. New battery makes a big difference here. Let me just hold up the bracket and see what this looks like. Make sure I'm still in the right place. Okay, so this guy goes up here. Flush so I can get it like that. All right, now I can take that out. Whoa, pushed me around. Ouch. Woo! That burnt my finger. All right. Let's see how we're looking. There we go. Might have to widen this one just a little bit. Let me put the bit in there, see if I can widen it up just a little bit with this guy. Oh, something fell down. Oh, ha, the bit. Okay. See how we're looking. All right, not too shabby. That looks good. Looks good. Okay, guys, I'm going to take you to the top side just to show you how the plates, the sandwich plates go on, and yeah, and then what needs to be cut. But as you guys can see here, there's multiple pieces of metal right here, these plates. So once you put these plates on, this is going to be hella strong on here. I know a lot of people put the bars in, you know, the shock bars, which I've made a stabilizer bar that you could add a shock bar to, you know, if you wanted to attach your shocks to it. But, you know, if I weld this on between this and the other side and the way this is mounted into the trunk, I think the shocks are going to be pretty darn strong and pretty stable, and they're going to have the travel that the shocks need going back and forth, right? Instead of having this, you know, small amount of travel from right here down, they actually get to go all the way up to here and down, so you get a lot more travel. All right, let's go up to the top side. Okay, guys, here I am, still under the trunk here, or I'm in the trunk now, not underneath it. So this is the driver's side. this is where the shock comes up and through, right? So that hole right there is where the shock comes through, right there. And then this plate is the RideTech plate that goes into here like that. Okay, it's gonna fit on that angle. The problem is this brace is here, so I'm gonna cut this brace back across. I might take the whole thing off, or I'm gonna take it just in a square. Probably just take it over like this. And then once I get that square cut out, then I should be able to get the brace in there and we'll be good to go. Might take the whole thing off just because I want to get in there with the abrasive disc and get it. So we'll see. I've got to get some stuff in here to reinforce so I don't get sparks anywhere. Yeah, I might not be doing this today. We'll see. Okay. All right. And here's what it looks like. Get this here for you guys can see that. Okay, so this is the plate that goes in. This is the stock location that the shock mount comes through, or the shock comes through. And then this is the sandwich plate. To get the sandwich plate to fit, I had to cut this cross brace, or this little package tray brace that they've got back here. I am gonna cut this with the cutoff wheel, and then I'll use the grinder to cut the back side, make it look nice, but I'm not gonna do that until I get everything outside, everything out of the car. Once I get it mounted back on the chassis, then I'll go through and clean this up and put some weld through primer in here and everything, and I might even weld the plate in place. So that's how we're sitting right now. I just thought I'd show you guys. I think I'll button this guy up. The other side will be the exact same thing. I just drilled 2 little holes in the package tray right here, hole there, and I just used my snip tins, or tin snips to go through there and cut the package tray back. And like I said, I would have probably used my my cutoff wheel if I didn't have all the cardboard and paper and everything else I've got on the inside of the car at the moment. So it's kind of storage for everything. Did put in some pieces of metal here to stop any of the hot little pieces, little shavings that came off. So all right, it is a hot one today, and I think that's going to cover it. Actually, let me bolt this in so you guys can see what it looks like once it's finished, and then we're going to call it a day. Okay, guys, so here is the finished project, or finished product of this little project. When I'm not going to finish this until I get the body out in the driveway, where I can tack up, and I'll show you guys tack the bolts in. Just kind of a pain in the butt by myself, so I think I'm going to put a tack on the top so I can screw it in top and bottom. Also going to put some weld through primer in, and then I'm going to use the grinder to fix some of the places I peeled that package tray back. So let me spin it around and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, from the top side, so this is how it works out. Like I showed you guys, I peeled the package tray back here. I'm going to peel this side back too, and then I'm going to come through with the cutoff wheel, get it real nice, then grind it, and it'll look nice when I'm done. I'll get in with the abrasive disc, clean this really good, put weld through primer in, and then I'm going to tack this one and this one in place. In other words, this bolt and washer, this bolt and washer in place. And on the underside, because this bolt comes up through the opposite end, I will tack weld the top of that nut into the brace that comes in through the bottom. So that's the driver's side. There's the passenger side, same thing. Okay, they mount in sideways or at an angle, just like the original did. And that's the sandwich, so let me show you what it looks like underneath. All right, here we go. Got a mess to clean up here today. All right, here we go. Oh, I don't have my, hold on guys, let me get a light here. Okay, I have a light now. Okay, this is the passenger side. The front of the vehicle is this way. Okay, so the little RideTech emblem goes facing towards the back. There is the spare tire. My father wants to keep that there, so in case he doesn't need a spare tire, we will, or I will be putting in the mini tubs. The mini tubs will go to here. You can see it's not going to affect the placement of the bracket here. Now I did move the shocks, the mounting of the shocks, because they are attached to leaf springs. We did the relocation kit, so it moved them over about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, but we're still going to mount, everything will mount okay with this bracket. So good to go. So with the with the mini tubs, I'm tired. It's going to work out. And you can see here with the passenger side, we're bolted in. Then there's a bolt that comes across here that holds the body of the shock. All right, and let's go to the other side. And this is how I was holding them in since it was me by myself. Oh, and this is what I was talking about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tack in this nut right here because the other ones come the opposite way. So when I do this sandwich, especially with the nylocks, I could just crank them down until I get it really good and tight. Then I can come in and I'll probably, once I get this, I know that it's really straight, everything's in there, then I'll run a bead along here and probably the other side, maybe, and just a little bead on this side. Maybe all four, I don't know. But just make sure that it's solid. It's not going anywhere, and yeah, it's going to be stout. So let's go over to the driver's side. Oh, get my little light here. Okay, so this is what the driver's side looks like. And whoa, lost my light, guys. Sorry. Let me grab this here. Okay, there we go. So the back of the car is this way. So there's the trunk, there's my knees, and the front of the car is facing this way. RideTech logo goes to the back. I'm sorry, it's in the front of this brace, but behind on the back side of this this little triangle of bolts that they have here. Because the shocks are staggered. In other words, one is in the front of the axle, one's behind the axle. This is the rear, so it's coming back towards, obviously it's mounting towards the rear, so it's on the back side of the axle. I'm going to tack this guy in. These bolts are coming through right here and sandwiched up. Everything from RideTech is really good. All the welding is beautiful that they do. Yeah, everything looks good. Everything should mount up perfectly, and we're good to go. So that pretty much finishes the installation of the StreetGRIP. I will be putting the body on. I'll do one little video showing once I get the body on, everything attached. But yeah, that's the last piece that you have to do is just attach this bottom piece here, this bottom, and the sandwich bracket on top. And if your body is attached to your chassis, then you're good to go. Just put that in, bolt it on, and I think they're right. I think you could do this in a weekend, 2 days. I think you could get everything done, taking everything apart. I did a bunch of other stuff, which you guys saw, adding frame bracing kits in and all that other stuff. But as far as the kit itself, you just drill some holes, bolt it in. I think for those of you guys that are looking for a Tri-5 that performs well, I mean, it's not going to be autocross, but it is going to have fun, in the twisties. If you have any doubt about that, please check out some of the other videos of people with the StreetGRIP and on Tri-5s, and they have a lot of fun on them or with them. And you can lower it down. I know one of my big things was I didn't like the ride height, but remember, you can cut the coils, and you can also use the 2-inch drop spindles, which they don't show when they are showing the RideTech StreetGRIP installed in the car. They aren't showing it with the 2-inch drop spindles. So, all right, guys, and places you can go to find people that have done that. Go to Pro Touring on YouTube, and then also check out Woody's Hot Rods on YouTube, and they both install StreetGRIP and take it for a ride. So, thanks, guys, for checking this out. Flip this around here. Put a fork in me. I'm done. All right, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe if you so choose, if this was fun for you. Also, check out all the other YouTube channels that I always recommend. Half Rods Builds, definitely. 55 210. Kyle Phillips, he would a Tri-5, what a 56 and 55 can really do with a SpeedTech chassis. 55 210. Dan's Tri-5s, and definitely the C10 stuff. Check out Rusty Wrenches. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you later.